Hi, my name is Lisa Loftman, and I'm a counselor with the Michigan State University Employee Assistance Program. I wanted to take a minute or two today to tell you about a new service that we're providing. We are now offering the MSU Grief and Loss Support Group, which is happening online using Zoom, and it takes place every Tuesday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. The grief group is being facilitated by two grief counselors, myself, and I've had 30 years of grief counseling experience, and I've had my own 30 plus years of personal grief experience as well. And I am co-facilitating the group with my colleague Barb Kolb, who worked for many years on campus within the RHS system. And while doing that work, used her tuition assistance and got her master's degree in counseling. And since engaging in the counseling field, she has specialized in grief and has done some grief and loss support groups at local funeral homes. I asked Barb to join me in co-creating a space where we could be regularly available to help people process the grief and loss they may be experiencing. So if you've experienced the loss of a parent, partner, sibling, aunt, uncle, grandparent, any family member, anybody you perceive to be your family members, or a neighbor, or a friend, or a college roommate, or a colleague at work, and you're struggling with processing that grief, or would just like to learn more about the grief process, we want to invite you to come to the Grief and Loss Support Group. What we hope to create, our intention, is to create a place for people to come and be real, to step out of the busyness of life, to share what they're feeling, to ask questions that they might have about what they're experiencing. Often when people are grieving, they think that what's happening for them is just about them, but sometimes it's part of a pattern of grieving. And when you understand how the grief process works, it can help you navigate a little more effectively. And so we'll be talking about what's common about our grieving experiences, and also making space for what's uniquely and individually yours, given the loss you experienced and the circumstances around the loss that you've experienced. Grieving is hard, and it requires a lot of effort and resources to work through. And that's true all the time, but it's particularly true in the times that we're living in, when we're seriously impacted by this global pandemic of COVID-19, which is not allowing us to be connected to people like we might normally gather and connect with people and share in community the loss and be supported by each other when we have a loss. It's also impacted by our reckoning with the long-standing pandemic of racism in our country, and the emotions people are feeling, and the disproportionate impact for Black, Indigenous, and people of color of the COVID-19 crisis. All of that happening along with unemployment and increased job insecurity, and disconnection from family and friends, and some isolation. All of that's just making the grieving people are doing even more difficult, which is why we wanted to take this opportunity to create this space for us to have a virtual room to be in, to talk it out and to share. My hope is that if you're struggling with grief, or would just like to learn more about it, that you'll give us a try. And also, if you know somebody in your work team that you think could benefit from knowing that we're doing this, then I would want you to let them know, maybe forward them this video. If anybody has a question about what the grief group would be really like, feel free to email me at laughman@msu.edu. This MSU Grief and Loss Support session series, which is going to be ongoing over time, is available to any MSU faculty, staff member, graduate student employee, retired MSU employee, any adult child of an MSU employee, the spouse and partner of any of those people. And if you're a spouse or partner, which I like to call us Spartners, if you're a Spartner of an MSU employee, you can come even if the MSU employee is not interested. So it's a lot of people that are invited to come. And Barb and I will do our best to facilitate that discussion in a way that allows you to learn and heal and be supported. To get the link to come to the class, if you go to the MSU Health for You website and you click on Emotional Wellness Courses, you'll see it listed there and the Zoom link will be provided. So if people come, whenever there's new people, we'll go over sort of the guidelines for group participation, and you can decide at that point if you're interested in staying. The group is ongoing, but people can drop in and come and go anytime that you want. So if you're interested in checking us out, come see what we're all about. Until then, take care and take care of each other. Thanks.